Welcome to Entertainment Drive-Thru. Today's special is Hughes, Australian comedian and musician.
Quite understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
Hello, welcome to Entertainment Drive-Thru. I'm Anna, with me is my co-host Dan, and today's guest is known as an Australian musician and stand-up comedian. He's one of Dan's favorites, so he's in heaven right now. Let's welcome, joining us via Skype, is the one, the only, Steve Hughes!
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Oh, g'day.
How's it going?
Is that Australian enough?
Yes! That's exactly what I was looking for!
Well, I actually live in Great Britain, actually.
Actually, so you have to change it.
I've never actually suited Australia, you see, because I wasn't one for sport. So I was more for rainy days and writing poetry.
And biscuits.
Biscuits, tea on the...
Yeah.
And
fish and
well,
chips.
True, it's actually quite true, really. I mean, Australia is a very sport-obsessed country, and I grew up playing in heavy metal bands, not particularly interested in sport, and eventually did comedy and went, well, if you're going to do any kind of art in Australia, really, unless they take to you in the corporate media world, you are going to be begging for food. So
you moved to England instead.
Exactly. That way, see, also, once the Australians realise that someone like people in Europe like you, then they get permission to like you then, because you've proven to yourself. You can't just prove it to them here.
No.
You know?
No.
Yeah, no. You have to go there. It's like AC/DC. They had to leave, and then Europe went, this is amazing, and then Australia went, are they?
That's the same with Bjork, man. We thought she was just weird. And then, like, everybody loved her afterwards. I was like, you hated her while she was here. I don't get it.
Yeah, I know.
You have to leave the country to be able to, like, gain popularity.
I find it so funny because I asked Anna when I first met her about Bjork, and if everyone loved her in Iceland, she goes, well, I mean, they do now.
Exactly. It's not just Australia. Whenever you get a small country like Ireland, or I can imagine Iceland or something, they do. They just go, well, no, we're not interested. And then you leave and the whole world goes, yes, they're brilliant. And they go, yeah, they're one of ours.
Yeah, and they're like, we knew it all along. We're like, no, you didn't.
Yeah, we knew it all. We just didn't want to tell her, so she didn't get a big head. I'm actually born on the same day as Bjork.
No way.
No kidding.
That's hilarious.
12th of November, both Scorpios.
Wow. Something new every day.
Me and Bjork, Grace Kelly, and Charles Manson.
Oh.
Wow, that's a mix right there.
Yeah. And the bass player from Megadeth.
Nice.
See, I just have Jonah Hill. That's all for me. I don't know.
Who do you have?
Jonah Hill. That's all I have. I don't know. What about you, Dan?
Who's Jonah?
The guy from Moneyball.
Well, he was in Get Him to the Greek.
Yes, and
that
Forgetting
guy.
Sarah Marshall and all those. And now he's doing Wolf of Wall Street and all these famous movies. Hanging out with George Clooney and Leo. And
Yeah, one of those big shots.
He's that funny fat guy.
Yes, exactly. But he
is
lost
funny.
weight, and now he's like doing
I
serious
love the way
roles.
he put that. Oh, he's the funny fat guy.
Yeah, but now he lost all the weight, so now he's doing serious roles with big stars.
So now he's the funny, not so fat guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you're going to hang around George Clooney and the like, you end up going, I might go to the gym. It'll probably impede his career. They'll actually go, no, we liked you much better before.
Yes, I think so. That's normally what they say to fat people. They're like, we liked you better when you were fat. It's like...
The guy was great. He's a funny guy. I like him.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to know, how did you get started in comedy and in music?
Well, music. I was at school. I had, as I said, was in Australia, not knowing what I was going to do. And then I started to get into Iron Maiden in about 1982 when I was around 15. Mm-hmm. And then they played here for the first time ever on the Number of the Beast tour. And I went there and saw it, and it blew my mind. Nice. And I went, going to make a band. So I did. And we ended up making a band called Slaughterlord, which was actually the first thrash metal band in Australia, along with Mortal Sin. So we made, and I played in Mortal Sin as well. That's when I actually toured the States in late 90s with Mortal Sin, playing at the Whiskey right there in LA.
Oh, nice.
And Ruthie's Inn up in San Francisco, and some stuff in New York, Boston, and so forth. Then I played in bands till about 1999, actually. I made a band in the mid-90s. It was sort of an eclectic rock band that was sort of influenced by metal, but everything else. And,
nice.
Yeah, one of those bands that's so eclectic no one knows how to market it. You know, those bands? Yeah. And then I played an extremely full-on black metal band called Nazul. But then I started to I realized that I can't do these band things anymore in a country like Australia where nothing ever happens and you have to rely on other people. And it was always quite funny. So I thought, right. And growing up, we used to listen to Slayer and Metallica and German thrash metal, and then but we'd also watch Richard Pryor and
Right.
Oh, sweet.
Steve Martin live at the Hollywood Bowl. And,
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy and all that 80s comedy, right? We all used to watch all that stuff. And then I used to think, but if I can do comedy, then I don't have to worry about other band members.
Very good point.
Yeah, I'll be a lot lonelier on the road, but I won't have to worry about other band members. And so then about 95, I started to do stand-up comedy. I was still playing in bands right up until I left Australia in 1999 to go over to the UK, and I've basically been doing comedy ever since, really.
And I was gonna say you were a drummer, so I mean, being a drummer, you can't really just start your own solo project.
Oh, exactly. What are you gonna do?
It would just be a noise CD.
People always go, was it difficult moving from playing drums to doing stand-up? They always think it's some kind of strange transition. But as I say, all you really have to do is move the drum kit. and then you sack the rest of the band, and then you take the singer's mic, and you start.
And you ended up doing a comedy special that you called Heavy Metal Comedy.
Nice.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, that was the CD I put out in an Edinburgh show I performed. Basically I used to say, especially when my comedy started getting more satirical in the sense, or more social commentary, I attached heavy metal comedy to it because my comedy began to be like some forms of heavy metal, is that no one wants to hear about it. so that's where the two married themselves. And the irony being is I used to be in a band called Slaughter Lord, and then all you have to do really from that name is take the S away, and then you get Laughter Lord. So it was destiny in a way. It's destiny. Heavy metal comedy.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. Never thought of that.
Yeah.
Do you have a hard time? I wonder if, as a drummer, don't you have a hard time staying still? Like, I always know who's a drummer because they're always banging on something. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, but I'm getting old now, though.
Yeah, okay, so it's okay now.
And when
I'm 3,500 years old now.
Oh, well, there you go. But when people will sit and they'll kind of like bounce their legs up and down.
I know that one.
I had a friend who used to look at me when I'd do that, and he'd be like, practicing your double bass.
Exactly. Yeah, I've always been quite hyper. I used to wander around the street with drumsticks in my hand, just tapping them on my forearm so I could practice my finger work.
I was so hoping you would just go do it on random people.
Just go up. Excuse me, could you just sit down for a second? All right, now I need you to sit over here.
You two sit there.
Yeah.
Put these helmets on.
Right.
But I never became a bucket drummer. That's one thing I haven't done.
Right.
Bucket drummers. Who sit
Bucket drummers, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought you said
There must be
backup
some
drummers.
bucket drummers in LA.
I thought you said backup drummer. I was like, what does a backup drummer? Is he like there by the sideline in case something happens?
In case you're so hyper that you have a heart attack.
Yes, exactly.
On Spinal Tap. That's what it is, in case you explode.
Oh my God.
And I wanted to know, I mean, you kind of touched up on this a little bit, but when were the moments, maybe a couple of them since it's two different things, but when were the moments that you decided that, being a musician or being a comedian was exactly what you wanted to do? It wasn't going to be being a weatherman in England. You wanted to be a musician and a comedian.
Yeah, well, it was just basically. Also, I knew growing up in school, you don't want to get a normal job. Like, I knew that school was the conditioning of normal jobs.
Yes, it is.
5 days on, 2 days off, right? They get you used to 5 days on, 2 days off, and then I've often asked in my comedy, why are we still doing 5 days? Why? Why doesn't this change? Why? Everything's built. We don't need everybody to work on everything. People can't evolve. We can't relax. 2 days isn't anything off for anyone.
No, it isn't.
They spend the first day off just exhausted from the 5, and then it's Sunday. Then it's back to hell.
And also because Monday's coming, so you can't relax either way. And normally there's so much housework, at least like for the ladies, there's so much housework left to be done, and maybe for the guys like some building man.
Rightfully so.
Right? Did you make a mess? No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
You do that on purpose, don't you?
I used to say Sunday's not a real day off either, because then you're sitting there, just going, Monday's right next.
I know.
Just sitting there in the back of your head. I'm here. I'm almost here. We should all humans on the earth should take a decade off.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Just everyone, we go, okay, that's enough war, it's enough rubbish, it's enough economies, it's enough carrying on. We're all going for a swim.
Just everyone goes out for a
It'd
swim.
be way more peaceful anyway.
Oh, it'd be so much more peaceful. The age of technology is a nightmare. Everybody thinks.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm sitting here now speaking to you in Australia, so obviously it has its advantages. Obviously, we can do this. But really, we should all just get up, have a swim, have some lunch, lie in the grass in the afternoon, and then at night we can sit around a fire. And everyone would actually go, I've never felt so brilliant.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break to listen to a clip from Destructor by Slaughterlord. We will be right back. What do you do in terms of promotion?
Oh, me, I've been so hopeless at it, really. I've just been touring and I'm such a technophobe in the sense of computers. I have to do some kind of computer course. I can't do anything. I can't attach a file to an email. I don't know what's going on. I can't log on.
Can you turn the computer on though?
I can turn it on.
Okay.
And it's becoming frightfully pathetic. I'm starting to feel like a dinosaur in some kind of age that's overtaking me. Like, oh my God.
I think the funniest thing though is because I mentioned, turning the computer on. I have an iMac and now the button is on the back of the computer to turn it on. When I went to a college in Michigan for a while, I was living with a couple guys one year, and just to mess with them because they weren't Mac users. So I was like, hey, I turned off my computer. If you can turn it on, I'll buy you a 6-pack. It took them an hour and a half to figure out that the button was on the back.
I've often wondered, who are these people? Who are these techno rabbits that hide in holes and just decide, let's put the button here for now. Let's change all the... What was wrong with the volume knob for a stereo?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big round knob. You didn't have to search. They didn't put a small black button that was black on a black stereo. They had a big knob that went up and down, nice and smooth. And that was... Who are these people that continually go, let's invent a new thing? So that I can't keep up either. We've got to find these people and we've got to get them.
Yes, let's get them.
And we've got to go, look, we all we need is a button that says on and off.
Yes.
That's all we need. A big red button that says on and off. Right, that's it. You don't need to we could make it smoother and stylisher. No. Just a big red button. On, off. What's wrong with those two words? You can't replace those two words. Why do they replace them with a symbol or some kind of... You just write volume, up, down, on, off. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all we need. Just we've worked this out. Just no need to reconfigure this. This is finished. Move on to another idea. The on-off button.
Well, it's like I finally updated my iPhone to the latest operating system, and now I'm searching it constantly going, why didn't they just keep this in that place? Why didn't they just keep this there? I knew how to use it. Now I don't.
Yes, same for me. I get so frustrated because why even bother learning? Why should I I'm just going to wait for the new update because I'm not going to learn it either way.
And then there's Facebook that changes their look every 5 months.
Oh my God, I'm so fed up. I used to love Facebook, but I'm really getting over it. And I'm thinking of just having an Instagram. Apparently that's the new thing, and just being totally self-obsessed and just taking photos all the time.
I think everybody should be over Facebook.
Oh, that's my favorite thing though. There was a study shown that was released on. I saw it going around Facebook that says that taking selfies is caused by narcissism. It was narcissism and mental illness.
Yeah. Well, narcissism is a form of mental illness.
Yeah,
probably,
it is.
But it was just funny. I'm sitting there going, so every single person that takes a selfie has a mental illness.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think most of us in the Western world have got mental illnesses.
We are mental. It's just a fact. We're mental.
I know. Only the
Just
Asians are the
accepted
sane ones left.
Yeah, we just accepted it.
But according to one of your stand-ups, isn't that what happens when you close your bars before 6?
What? Okay,
everyone goes mental?
Was that only in England or only in Australia, or is this worldwide phenomenon?
I only thought the other day I should have really scripted all my shows I've done, typed them out, and then I would have. Oh, that's right. I had tons of jokes I hadn't used for.
Just talk to this guy. He knows.
So I'm just gonna talk about your jokes, and you're gonna go, "Did I say that?"
Yeah, exactly.
no.
I should get a pen. I'll write them down.
It's like me.
Yeah. He's listening to it now, and he goes, "Actually, that's kind of funny. I should do a joke about." Oh, I already did one.
That's a good joke. I could keep that. They do. Sometimes they just vanish from your repertoire, and then someone goes, "Do you do this anymore?" And you go, "No," and you go, "Oh, that's right. That's brilliant." That's where it went.
Yeah, no, we've been talking to a lot of comedians out here since we've been doing this podcast, and a lot of them actually say that you'll never use the same jokes that you did in your first act.
And then I actually sometimes eventually, if you've been doing it long enough, eventually you can go back, and I still use one of my earliest jokes.
Ooh,
oh yeah?
What jokes stand the test of times? That's a
Some
good question.
jokes stand the test of time.
Yes.
I had a joke where I used to smoke so much pot, I had a poster of Bob Marley in my bedroom, and in it, Bob was wearing a T-shirt with me on it. Which is one of my earliest jokes and still kicks. It had a few years where it needed a rest, like a Tori Amos song. You know how Tori Amos songs children, and they get born, and then they come alive, and then they have little rests, and then they need to be brought out and brought into the world. Some jokes are like that. That Bob joke had a few years off. He went, "No, that's enough." And then he came back. All right. I've sat on the beanbag long enough and eaten jerk chicken, and we're ready to get back into it. But it's amazing. Creativity is like that, though. Some people think that you're just going to continually go on an upward spiral and get better and better and better. Your technique and so forth, maybe, but it doesn't mean that your jokes will always get better. You can still write some of your best jokes or best as many people know with bands. I like their first album best. So,
right.
Very true.
Do you happen to have a favorite joke that you've told, and maybe one that you didn't like as much?
I've had jokes I've written which I liked, which audiences haven't. That's always been. I know,
Different
it's
tastes.
just simple little one-liners. I wrote a joke once I went to saw the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which is supposed to be a big tourist attraction, really exciting. But I actually got there and thought it was a bit crap, and until I realised I only had one shoe on. But the audience a friend of mine in Ireland, another comedian, said, "I love that joke." And I said, "I like it too." I said, "But no one ever laughs except me and you." So.
Different tastes, man. That's probably where you're. How is it with the different? Is it a different audience in England as opposed to Australia? Are there certain things that English people laugh at and Australians don't?
Well, Australians find it more difficult to confront their dark side. In the sense of Europeans who are quite willing to just, have dark things said and can understand it from a perspective of just life, whereas Australians are still a little young, probably like some American crowds, and like, "Oh, you can't say that. What are you saying? You can't." I wrote a joke because I've cut my hair off, so I now have completely short hair. So I wrote a joke the other day going, "I had really long hair, but I cut it off." And whenever you have long hair and people know about it, they always come up and they go, "You cut your hair? Why did you cut your hair?" And I thought, well, I felt like a change, so I thought, hair or wrists. and
I'm glad you chose hair.
Yeah, so am I. And of course, I think that would kill in England. And I've only done it in Australia, but Australians sometimes go, "You can't say that." Just relax. They've got to own their shadows. But Australians are good crowds because they laugh from their guts. They're honest, like Northern Irish people. So if you make Australians laugh, you get a proper laugh out of them. Then they're not shy.
But is that because they're just drunk, or is it a genuine appreciation?
No. They've got a raw sense of humour underneath. They've got a dichotomy of they're quite conservative and yet they're sort of rough around the edges simultaneously.
Sweet.
Yeah. So many people think Australians are all just, yobbos and rah, but they've got that in their nature. But in one sense, because they're such a young culture that's isolated, they're actually very conservative because they've always been trying to project a sort of moral identity to the world because they really don't know who they are, see? Like Americans.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that was coming.
She knows what I'm talking about. She's from Iceland, ancient culture.
Well, I was going to say, and also, I mean, in America, I've actually noticed a lot lately. Like, I'll go out to a comedy show and I'll hear more groans than normal. Like, people, like a joke will be told and people will go, "Oh, you can't say that."
Yeah, see,
That's
America.
what comedy is about.
But you're in a comedy club.
You're in a comedy club. Don't go to a comedy club if you're not going to be entertained and just laugh. It doesn't matter.
I feel like if you get offended really easily, don't go to a comedy club.
Yeah. It's certainly. But I think Americans can be like, as I said, they can be really. Some of my favorite early comedians are Americans. I wanted to be kind of like those loud, raucous American comedians, like when Leary used to yell and. Sam Kinison and all that. The Americans can they take it. They took Hicks sometimes. They didn't get popular with him, but See, so Americans are like that. They can be ultra conservative, but then they can be ultra sort of, totally. Let's be insane and filthy and full on. So it's a strange dichotomy with young cultures, I think.
Right. What would you say so far has been your biggest challenge? How did you overcome it?
Right now is probably my biggest challenge.
Just thinking of answers.
And we haven't
doing
even
this podcast.
and we haven't even done the question of the week. It hasn't even been now. Okay.
And that's not being on the podcast. My biggest challenge right now is just being here in Australia. I was on the road for 4 years. It wore me to the bone.
Oh, wow.
I should have taken some time off. I didn't. I hit the wall. Lost my girlfriend.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Also, my comedy is becoming, I've been thinking for years, how long can I rail against the establishment before I actually start to begin that I understand that I'm perpetuating the very thing that I'm claiming to be against. Mm-hmm. So eventually start to realize, well, I can't just yell and scream anymore. It's ridiculous because I'm actually adding sort of anger-based energy to the whole scenario, which is hardly evolutionary. So at this present point in time, I'm doing some shows in Melbourne and New Zealand and some in Sydney and Perth here. Mm-hmm. And then I'm sort of at a standstill of where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do creatively. And now I've got to get over my, I've gotten over my exhaustion, which was super, super difficult. That was, I thought I was looking after myself because I was running and going to the gym and stuff. Mm-hmm. But actually what happened, and I've been on the road for so long, I was actually running on pure adrenaline, wondering how I had so much energy at my age, going, geez, I'm just some fit maniac, right? And then I hit the wall. And those books you read by like sports athlete, hyper athletes or rock bands, and they go, we had a burnout. Mm-hmm. I used to think that was like, they just got a bit tired. I didn't realize though that you could burn out.
Yeah, I never knew what that. I never knew what that meant. It's like
I never
mental.
knew what that meant either. But I tell you, it's beyond burning the candle at both ends. It's until you burn the candle and there's no end left. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you just get tired. No, you hit the wall, right? And so I've been getting over that sort of, which is kind of, everything, which has given me great epiphanies into the comedy, actually, because for years my intuition has been tapping me on the shoulder going, I think you should start to sort of ease this up a bit and sort of take it in a more evolutionary idea direction, which is quite difficult to do in comedy. You're still going to make people laugh. Mm-hmm. Don't want to be intellectually lofty and carry on.
Right.
But having the epiphany, it's almost like I sit there and realize you always have humans, we always like to have epiphanies by having breakdowns, don't we? Mm-hmm. So I think as a planet, we're moving towards a cosmic breakdown, right? Because we're doing all the wrong things, flying off all over the place, and started to equate my own personal hitting the wall with going, what if the Earth's going to hit the wall? What if we still haven't woken up to what the indigenous people said was, you've got to become more spiritual and you can't dig up the Earth and you can't bomb it and dam it and f it up.
Right.
You'll break down. And so maybe we're heading for that massive global breakdown for our cosmic epiphany into our breakthrough. Because they've been telling us, the indigenous people, well, you better watch out.
They know.
They've been telling us you can't keep pulling out of the Earth because bits of it will fall in. And,
very true.
Yeah.
I never even thought of that.
Many people are always going, we got to save the planet. We got to save the planet. But I'm thinking, what you're really saying is you want to save yourself, because I've got a feeling the planet will do all right without us. Mm-hmm. The other way around doesn't work. Right? No. Yeah. In fact, the planet could be very relieved if we all f*** off.
They should rather say, like, save yourself.
That's what
don't like, kill yourself.
Go green, save yourself.
I was going to say, are you recycling to save the Earth? I think the Earth will save itself by just going, have you ever seen a 3,000-foot tornado wave? Check this shit out, right? And we'll go, I'm running to put my plastic bottles in the right bin, and a huge, massive tsunami fucking broke my country in half. Well, maybe I wasn't expecting that.
Maybe all the planets are actually talking to each other, and they're all just looking at Earth going, you haven't recycled yet?
Yeah, and that's a good idea, actually. Maybe we're the ones who are going to be recycled.
Yes, we are the junk on the planet.
Yeah.
Like Mars seems to be empty. That's just because Mars recycled its people long ago.
They did.
That's a very funny idea why there's no other people on other planets, because the other planets recycled them all. So where are you from in Iceland?
I'm actually from Reykjavik. Most of the people are from there anyway.
How long have you been in the States?
Almost 3 years in September. Yeah.
Can I come and live with you in Reykjavik?
Yes, let's just all go to Reykjavik and live together.
Yeah, let's just take our decade off and we'll go to Reykjavik and we'll just go
yeah,
for a
man.
swim.
No, even better. I didn't tell you this. This is what I learned in law. I didn't learn a lot. And I had a law class, and I learned that in Iceland you only need 50 people to form a town. So let's form a town and just sleep for a decade.
Oh God, I'd love to live in Iceland.
Yes.
I would. I'm not joking. I was so upset when I didn't get to go. I was like, I want to go there and just no one comes here. We'll just stay with the ice people and go out at midnight and drink whale spirits or something, whatever you get up to. Then we can go and sit in the hot pools and eat smoked fish.
Yes, you would love Iceland.
I don't know what I did wrong in a past life to be born in Australia. I'm not particularly happy. I don't want to live here. I don't like it. I don't know. I was born here. It was too far away and everything was no, what am I doing here? I don't want to be. I like Europe. I want to go and live in Europe, even if it gets nuked. I want to live in Europe. I'm going to go back.
He'll go back. The whole place will be gone, like nuked, and he'll just be like, "Well, it's a little peaceful."
Yeah, it was the green that got them. He saved himself. He's okay.
Yeah, he went green. He saved himself.
He saved himself. So everybody else is like off.
We've all got to die one day, so getting nuked would be quite handy.
Yes, and quick death too. So it'd be nice.
That's what I mean. Like, you don't want a long, drawn out, miserable son of a bitch. You just want.
The planets are talking and they go, Earth, you haven't recycled yet. And the Earth is going, yeah, I did. They're all gone. Wait a minute. Steve, what are you doing?
I'll be the last one.
Yes.
Me and you two in Reykjavik.
Yes. Exactly. We'll be chilling in the hot springs, so it's okay.
Well, we actually have a new challenge for you today. We are up to our segment, the question of the week. Question of the week.
Question of the week.
You know what's funny?
Did you listen to that?
That's actually very similar to our jingle. But anyway, so in this segment, we'll ask our interviewees a new question every week, and they have to think of the funniest answer that they can come up with. To our listeners, write in your questions on our Facebook at facebook.com/Entertainment Drive-Thru and our Twitter at eDrive-Thru, and we just might use it as the question of the week. Now, Steve, are you ready?
Question of the week.
Exactly.
Oh no, being put on the spot to do comedy is my greatest fear. All comedians are insecure at heart, you know.
All right, well,
right,
you'll be fine.
Go for it. Question of the week.
So, question is, we all go a little crazy sometimes. What do you go crazy about?
What do I go crazy about? Oh, God, I just told you I had a burnout.
He goes crazy about nuking people.
Yeah.
What do I go crazy about?
Nuking and recycling.
He goes crazy about Iceland.
I get crazy about Iceland. Do you mean crazy like crazy angry or crazy I'm at a Kiss concert or crazy I've actually gone mental?
Well, it's like, you know how people say they're crazy about chocolate? Yeah. Like, what do you go crazy for?
What do I go crazy for? Do you know what? I've been working, this is quite funny actually, I've been working so many years in art, which I never consider work, and yet I've been working so hard in bands and comedy for 20 years. Mm-hmm. I remember once, which I consider quite fun, and I'm making, I've done albums by myself, I've done comedy DVDs, I'm making an animated film at the moment with a friend of mine.
Nice.
That's cool.
Doing all the voices, we've done all that. That's on the way out. It's going to be called Sport of Satan, Play from the Heart. It's quite over the top, like my comedy, but done in a animated form, proper film.
Nice, congrats.
And then I actually went and saw a therapist once because I thought, I'm a comedian, I better have a go. If it doesn't work out, I'll definitely get some material.
Yes, you will.
Right.
And I remember she said, so Steve, what do you do for fun? In other words, what are you crazy about? What do you do for fun? And I realised I had no answer, right? Because I could have said, well, do tons of drugs and drink booze and listen to Rush, full blast. That's fun. But she meant fun, like, people go, I like to ride my bike, or I like to watch films with my friends, or I like to... And I sat there going, I actually have no idea. I've been just doing art continuously for so long. So actually... what do I get crazy about? Well, I used to go crazy about seeing heavy metal bands live, but I've seen so many bands live. I've reached a stage where Rush is about the only one I want to go and see anymore.
Ah.
Yeah, Rush from Canada. So you can, because they're masters. So I get crazy for that. I don't get crazy for chocolate.
So no chocolate for you, just Rush.
Yeah.
I like that.
You know, actually, if you think about it, both of them give you the same thing.
Yes, Rush.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. I wouldn't open with that. I wouldn't open with that one, but yeah. So I go crazy about art, but now I've got to. I'll tell you what I go crazy mental about. Mental as in all different types of crazy.
Okay.
I go crazy. I'm trying to stay calm now, be a bit more Buddhist, But when you're driving and there's someone looking for a parking spot and they just drive about 5 miles an hour, but never look in their rearview mirror to see if anyone else is actually waiting behind them. And they just...
We live in Los Angeles. We know all about that.
They just dawdle around as if they're the only person on the planet. And it just...
That's also when people are walking. That drove me crazy in Vienna. They have all the time in the world, like the old people and stuff. So they would walk so slow. And I feel the same way on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, no, that's how it...
They walk so slow. I'm like, you may be on vacation, but I'm not. Move out of the way.
There's a
Who
store...
are these slow walkers?
There is
Yes!
a store out
They're
here
zombies.
there's a store in the States called Costco. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I have heard of Costco.
Okay, so Costco is the only place in the world where I tell people it's like the people that are like the term fat and lazy actually refers to just normal, like healthy, skinny people because they'll like be leaning on their carts. They'll go so slowly. They won't look to see who's behind them. And you'll get like 5 people next to each other just going so slowly. And it's like, all right, you know what? I actually know what I want to get. Can I just go past you and get that object?
You can't pass them because they have the huge cart for Costco because it's like you get a lot of things at the same time.
Well, lots of things are big in America, aren't they? I can imagine.
Right?
Is it some kind of hypermarket or something? Is it?
And it's funny because I've noticed that a lot of the people that are more overweight that go to Costco, they are faster than the skinnier people.
Yeah.
They get what they want and they get out of there. But the skinny people take their time and they look and they see that you're behind them and they go,
Damn.
"Oh, I'm just looking for something in somewhere around here."
Maybe they were fat people and they've been there so long they've lost weight.
Yes! I love that theory. I'm going to think of that
There
now
you
when
go.
I go there. That will cheer me up.
Who are these people that go to supermarkets that don't know what they want?
Yes!
What are you talking about?
I have no idea, but people go to that store and they have no idea what they want.
Well, these people, the rest of us should stop working, and these people should be made to do it. If they've got to pay to wander around Costco, leaning on their carts, staring at a biscuit aisle, especially in the United States, there's probably about 9,000 different choices.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I got a headache when I came here because I came coming from Iceland where they're literally like 2 brands or something. It's like the good brand or the cheap brand. It's like that's the only choice.
We should go back to that. It's 2 biscuits.
Yes.
You can have one with chocolate, one without. Next. I know. It's like when you have toilet paper ads on TV.
Why? Why do you have toilet paper ads? There's no point. We need them.
I'm going to get some. No one has to try and convince me.
Yeah, exactly.
That I should wipe my ass with this brand.
Question is, do you want a bear or do you want a dog?
Toilet paper, 2 biscuits, 1 toothbrush. That's it. Eat your tomato and get out of Costco.
No. The question is, do you want a dog or do you want a bear? That's pretty much the branding, right? The dog or the bear.
True.
They all look the same to me. I swear. It's toilet paper. It does its job.
I wanted to get back to another interview question. I wanted to ask you, what is some of the best advice that you've ever received?
Lately, it's off my GP. GP means general practitioner, doctor. I have a great one. He's fantastic. He gave me good advice. It's a good thing that you hit the wall, Steve, because he taught me how to look after myself. So the best advice he said was it's a great thing. You're getting old. You're getting on anyway. You're hitting your 40s. It's a good thing you've hit the wall. It'd be the best thing that ever happened to you. Because now, he goes, I hit the wall. He goes, I went mad. He's a great doctor. He's fantastic. He just swears. He goes, I went mental, mate. I went mental. He goes, but you know what you get out of that? You learn how to look after yourself. Now, all my friends in their 40s who didn't go mental, they don't know how to look after themselves properly, Steve. So now, I'm 63, he goes, I'm still getting better every day. All my mates, they're falling apart. You understand?
Ah.
He goes, because they never hit the wall, mate. They never went mad. So it's actually good to hit the wall, burst yourself into 1,000 bits. Then you get taught how to look after yourself. Now every day of your life, Steve, you can just get better and better and better.
Wow.
That's quite good advice, actually.
Yeah, that's a
Right?
great way of
That's
looking at it.
amazing advice.
But here's the other bit of advice my GP gave. He's great. He's doctor. He goes, Steve, I've tried to work the world out. It's difficult. He goes, what you got to do first is look after yourself, right? He goes, you've got to look after yourself. He goes, because I tell you this. He goes, it's a paradox, Steve. The more selfish you are by looking after yourself, the more loving you can be to other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because-
I love how they say like, yeah, you should be so generous to others. I'm like, dude, then you neglect yourself and you don't take care of yourself.
Exactly. He goes, it's the big paradox. And he goes,
Yeah.
and you can try and work out the world, Steve, but you've got to look after yourself. He goes, I'll tell you this, even if I meet God this afternoon, I have to go to the gym and take me vitamins tomorrow. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
He's a great doctor.
You said you weren't really much into internet side, so I'm not going to ask you about that. But do you have any favorite books that you like either to just relax to or about comedy or about your favorite people or...
I always used to read kind of, super intense books about, spirituality and the world and then politics. And then I used to read, at the moment I'm listening to Slavoj Žižek. He's a Slovenian philosopher who I didn't know his name I didn't know how to pronounce for ages, and I eventually found out. It's not that I can always understand what he's saying because he's a proper philosopher and he's a bit of a madman, but he incorporates blockbuster films and modern day culture, zeitgeists into his philosophy. He's very, hyper intelligent and he speaks in this way that I will admit I don't always know what the hell he's going on about.
That's why he's called a philosopher. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
No one knows what he's talking about.
That's why he's called philosophy.
Well, unfortunately, we are getting down to the end of the interview, but where are places that our listeners can find out more information about you? Do you have websites, Facebook?
I do have a Facebook, Steve Hughes on Facebook. I guess that's how you find it. There is a website. Do we have the...
With an on button.
Yeah,
SteveHughes.net.
Yay!
They disguised the on button. He didn't know how to find it.
Yes.
I had to ask my TD here. So it's stevehughes.net is the website. stevehughes.net.au.
Oh, because Australia. No,
Yeah.
wait, Australia.
So if people go to stevehughes.net, it'll be a different Steve Hughes.
Yeah, so it's stevehughes.net.au.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And of course, Facebook is on there. You just flick on there, the stuff. I should probably update it. I haven't been doing anything on there recently. I don't know how. So
You get another person to do that. Get an assistant or something. They can do all that.
I know.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for being on the show. It's really been an absolute honor to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's fun, man.
Yeah. And for more information on Steve Hughes and the podcast, go to entertainmentdrivethru.com and subscribe on iTunes. Like and follow us on our Facebook at facebook.com/entertainmentdrivethru and our Twitter and Instagram at edrivethru.
Steve Hughes here, and you've been listening to Entertainment Drive-Thru.